Alright, in this video we are going to draw our first Gantt chart. Or just a very simple example of a Gantt chart. If you've already seen one before, basically it's just a simple tool for helping us with planning and scheduling of a project. So in this project we have 4 activities A, B, C and D, and there's some logic here. These predecessors mean what has to be done before you can start it. So for activity A, there's nothing that has to come before it. It's at the beginning of the project, whereas activity B can't start until A is done. Activity C can't start until activity B is done. And activity D can't start until activity C is done. Alright, and they each have some amount of duration here in days. So let's use a piece of graph paper here. It's going to make our lives a lot easier. And let's just first things first, let's label our axes. Alright, so now we have our axes done. All we want to do is draw in our bars. We're on the Gantt chart. The horizontal bar for each activity represents its duration in days. And it's placed sort of where it begins and ends. So activity A, it comes at the beginning of the project. It has no predecessors and it's 2 days long. So each one of these is 1 day, so we'll start here. Activity A starts at the beginning at 0, the beginning of the first day, whereas this would be the end of the first day, and its duration is 2 days. So 1 and 2. Perfect. Okay, so activity B, it has to start after activity A is done. So it can't start until the end of the second day. And that's 3 days long. So you find the end of the one that comes its predecessor, A, which is right here, and you go 1, 2, 3 days out, and there you go. So that makes sense. If this one's duration, if A's duration is 2 days and B's duration is 3 days, that has to come after. That's going to take us 5 days to get to the end of B, and look at that, we're at the end of day 5 right here. Okay, so activity C, it has to start once B is done. So B is done here. And it's 4 days long. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. And lastly we have activity D. So we're going to find D. It has to start once C is done. Which is this point here. And it's 3 days long. So 1, 2, 3. And there you go. This is our very simple Gantt chart. I hope that helps you get the idea of what they are. And in the next example we're going to do slightly more difficult Gantt chart.